troubled by strange noises in the middle of the night.
Welcome to the SLUSH podcast, the only place on the internet where we cover Ghostbusters to baby diapers and everything in between.
But what better way? You know what? There is one Mallrat. There's a Mallrat I know of who's been a Mallrat since the beginning. The very beginning, yes. The very, very beginning. So I thought I'd bring them on today as a special guest star.
Okay.
This is
look
the
at
original
that.
Mallrat. He's been at the mall since he was born because they have walk and talk with the other
Jeez.
moms.
There he is. I knew he'd be on eventually.
It's his first
Hey, Bennett.
appearance.
Hey, buddy.
Who's that?
He has no clue. Hi. He can't hear me,
No, he can't. But he can see you.
but he looks so confused. Hey, buddy.
It's okay. It's his default face right now. But yeah, he's the original Mallrat. He's at the mall. He was at the mall today.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
No.
Did he get a free 1 ounce soda with no ice?
Yeah, he got some chocolate covered pretzels. Destroyed a stage with Jay and Silent Bob. And now he's gonna host the Tonight Show. Right? Okay.
And then leave eventually, right?
Yeah. Okay, goodbye, Bennett. First appearance. It's happened. Thank you. But yeah, he's that's the funny thing about Mallrats is I never really thought about what it meant until way long after I'd seen the movie a bunch of times.
And then you realized that we were Mallrats at some point.
Yeah, I mean, because in Truro, there was 2 malls at one point back in the day. Because I totally get the concept of there being a dirt mall.
Yeah.
Because that was the mall with the arcade and the weird homemade donuts and stuff. And then there was the nicer mall. The nicer mall is one that's still open to this day, but.
See, where I grew up, it was you went to St. John and there was the Dirt Mall, which had an arcade and the movie theater, and then there was McAllister Place, which had all the nice stores and the cool food, the food court and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, back in the day, there wasn't anything else. That's where you kind of when they.
I mean, how many hours did you spend at Sam the Record Man listening to stuff on the listening box?
I love that they did that. You could just go up there and put the headphones on. They would never do that now. Holy shit. Kids are missing out, I tell you.
What a time.
I know. I know that we're older, but I feel like it just happened so fast that everything changed. We do sound
Well,
old.
I mean, nobody goes to malls anymore. I went to the big mall here not the big mall, the Dartmouth Mall here, because I can't call it what they originally call it because we get in trouble now.
True.
And there's just nothing there.
Yeah, it's weird.
I went into Decathlon to buy a duffel bag, and I was in and out in 10 minutes. The whole mall, I was in and out of the mall in 10 minutes. I even grabbed a burrito on the way out.
I just use Amazon for everything and eBay.
I'd rather have it in my hand because I can see it.
Yeah, I would do that if I was shopping for I don't know, sneakers or jeans or something I needed to actually have on me, I would do that. But if it's a t-shirt, I'll totally roll the dice, or a jacket, because odds are, you pretty much know your size unless you're ordering it from China or something, Japan.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. All my work clothes that I've bought over the last month have come from Costco.
Really?
Yeah, they you can. You remember when Walmart? You walk into Walmart and buy a pair of jeans for $15. Can't do that anymore. But Costco, $20.
I know, it's weird. If you want to buy a $15 pair of pants, it's cut off sweatpants at Walmart now.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I got work shirts, Caterpillar branded work shirts for $20.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right? I can't buy a non-branded shirt off of Amazon for less than 30.
I know. I've looked for Sully. I was like, we're gonna get you a Hawaiian shirt, and it's still $30. Ironically, side note, they have I remember the day they had Jay and Silent Bob shirts at Walmart. I was shocked. It's wow.
Yeah.
That's so weird to see. It happened.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, even when they did season 3 of Stranger Things, where the main place is the mall, they really kind of nailed it because all your friends were there, all the cool kids were there, all of the people trying to be cool were there, and then the adults were there that you could kind of act like a dick in front of and think you were cool.
Couldn't do anything.
Yeah, you're a cool teen. Remember them smoking in malls? I remember that so clearly.
I was actually having this conversation the other day. I remember still smoking in bars when I started going.
Yeah, I remember that when I first moved to Halifax, you could still buy cigarettes at the bars. It's
Hmm.
weird. It's
Yeah, there were the
crazy.
machines. You could like, yeah,
Yeah, it's
but
pretty cool. Back in the
gone are the
day.
days.
I know. Sully will never know. He'll never
No,
understand.
no.
Uh, but
I mean,
yeah,
didn't they make it illegal for anyone under a certain age now to buy cigarettes? Like at
really?
all? They're just trying to slowly like let everyone who's smoking now die out, and then
I didn't know that. I guess it kind of
yeah.
makes sense. Shit. I haven't had a cigarette in like since I was 30. It's been 10 years.
Mm,
10 years.
I smoked for a hot minute, but then I stopped when my dad got sick. So
Yeah, that would do it, man. All it takes is
yeah.
somebody, close
Well,
to
I
you
mean,
getting
to be
sick.
fair, I mean he was a chain smoker. Like if you followed his truck down the road, it'd be like butt going out. 4 minutes later, butt going out. But just at the window, like,
Yeah, I had a
and we
girlfriend
like,
that did it, and I was like, I
yeah,
guess I'll smoke then.
we, I didn't stand a chance. Like, we drove to Florida twice. My parents chain smoking the whole way down.
Whoa.
I know, right?
Back in the
Like,
day.
we got to Orlando, opened the doors, there's just a wall of smoke come out.
Jeez. Yeah. Even at my work, they would smoke at my work when I first started, like 17
Yeah.
years ago, and the
Have you
office was
been at
filled with
White?
smoke.
Have you been at White's that long?
Yeah.
Man, I can't even commit to a phone plan for more than 2 years.
I know, like I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, I'm almost been there for 20 years, and I'm 40
Yeah.
years old. So I really lucked out because I just went to volunteer. I didn't even like go looking for a job. I just volunteered. I didn't even
And then
think I
just,
would stay there.
and you just never went away.
Yeah, I mean, I went and worked on set, and I did that a lot. I worked on a ton of stuff. I only started doing union stuff near the end, and that's when I was like, oh, this is kind of feeling more serious and less fun. So I stopped
Yeah.
doing it because I don't know, it didn't feel the same. I really liked working on music videos, and I feel like they don't really do those anymore.
What's a music video?
Exactly. It's so
That thing,
boring.
those thing Michael Bay did before,
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Everything's back in the day now. Even a physical media is going to be back in the day soon, which is really weird.
I'm still buying DVDs. Like if it's something I really like, I still buy it.
Well, you don't get audio commentaries on a lot of stuff now if you don't buy the original DVDs. It's
I didn't know
weird.
that.
Yeah, like on Disney Plus, there's so many special features on the Star Wars DVDs, like so many, and you can't access them through streaming at all. It's weird. Uh,
Hmm.
so definitely a
Maybe
place
they,
for it,
yeah,
but
but who knows? I
even with
mean,
Apple, man, they pulled out like I think like $37 a month now for being like an Apple Music person.
is that really what it is?
Yeah, and like Spotify is more money now. It's more than Apple, like $1 more. And I was thinking about it this morning, like I could just cancel my Apple subscription and buy like a record or two a month, like and
Dude,
have it
I
forever.
my Spotify's only $12.
I don't know if this includes other stuff because like the Apple one, you get Apple TV with it as well,
Oh, okay, yeah, that
and
would do
it's a
it.
family sharing plan.
See, when I get Apple TV, I only get it for 2 months, and I get the basic plan just so I can watch For All Mankind.
Hey, you know what? I watched The Acolyte with Cora. Have you
How
seen
was
that
it?
yet? I
I
mean,
haven't seen it. Don't No
honestly,
spoilers.
I don't think it's bad at all. I also don't think it's amazing. I just am so tired of Star Wars now. I'm just like at my wit's end. I think I hit a
They have
wall.
yeah they have really done so much now. I can see why we get a little bored with it.
Yeah, I haven't even finished The Bad Batch or like Vision season 2. It's good though. The Acolyte is good. It's just like I don't know. It's like Marvel. There's just too much I think at the moment. So I'm kind of just not feeling it. Cora really likes it though. Uh, but yeah, shit. What were we talking about? Mallrats. That's the Mallrats
Mallrats.
episode. We kind of touched on Mallrats the other day. I saw it through this show called The Anti-Gravity Room on YTV where they like review comic books and stuff back in the
Why would they
90s.
like that's kind of crazy they would review that one.
Yeah, I think it's because Stan Lee was on it and they were like, Stan Lee's in a new movie. And I had no idea who Stan Lee was back then. Um, so I remember I saw Mallrats like 93 times in grade 9. I like,
Yeah, that
like
sounds about right.
I'd pride
Was it
myself on it.
Was it because Joey Lauren Adams had her shirt off for like a hot second?
No, it was just like I mentioned the other podcast about Clerks. I had never really, I didn't know of any other cinematic universes except for like Aliens, Star Wars, you know, Back to the Future. Not even Back to the
Yeah.
Future. I just movies that had other tie-in movies. Like the notion was so insane to me. So the fact that there was just movies about people hanging out and like buying comics and having relationship issues was its own cinematic universe. Was just like somebody was reading my brain. Like I was so into that, you know? And I still am. I hope that they keep doing it. But I don't know if he will. I don't know if he's talked about it or not lately.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I don't think he's mentioned
Anyway,
Clerks 4.
you know what? Clerks 4. We haven't even gotten Clerks 2.
Clerks 2? We got
Oh,
Clerks
Clerks.
3.
No. We're on Mallrats, and I'm thinking about.
We almost got Mallrats 2. It was very close.
Well, and then there was where there was that minute where it was going to be a show.
Yeah, a Netflix show or something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, if you like
So,
Google online an image search, you can find all the actors doing that because they were all on
yeah,
board to do it,
yeah. I mean,
apparently.
even Michael Rooker, who is horrible. Like, I think he said he only did the Marvel sequels because he was going to get paid a lot. Because he's one of these guys that doesn't like to go back and do sequels.
I could see that. Doing a
Hmm.
sequel, I never understood it when I was younger, but now that I'm older, I'm like, oof, I get it. You know, it's really risky. But if it pays off and the gamble works, then you can really. But a good sequel, oh, they're so few and far between. Like, even when
Well,
they're
I mean,
engineered, you know?
like Terminator 2, that was just an organically good sequel. Um, trying to think of all the good ones I know, which
Aliens.
isn't Aliens. Same guy too. I mean, what the? Maybe James Cameron should just be all the sequels.
I know. You know what though? I liked Avatar 2 more than 1, but I also just don't really give a shit about Avatar. I don't know what it is. I
I,
just
I I think Avatar for me got ruined on the second one because I didn't see it in just regular format. I went in that Ultra AVX D box.
Oh yeah.
So like
Yeah.
the water and the whole stuff made me like a little motion sickness. I'm like, I'm just gonna sit in the aisle.
I saw the weird 60 frames a second one. It was fucking strange. It was like
Hmm.
a soap opera mixed with a really high caliber movie. It was really took me out of the movie. I didn't really care though. Like I just wish James Cameron would do something else. Anyways, another good sequel. What's another good sequel?
Man, Batman Returns.
Batman Returns is incredible. I love that
Like
movie.
it's I didn't think it was possible to get darker than Batman, but Tim Burton's just like, hold on, let me turn the light down a little bit
Yeah, we'll
more.
just turn the chill up on this. Or turn the
Yeah,
down the chill.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I feel like
Funny,
what?
funny trivia. You know, Paul Rubens played the Penguin's father in that movie, and then he played the Penguin's father on Gotham.
Yeah, I heard that. I after he
So,
passed away, I read that in his little
and now I'm
bio.
wondering, is there kind of like a secret thing in the new Penguin TV show where he's his father somehow?
Dude, you know what? Normally I wouldn't be stoked to see a spin-off series like that, but the Batman was such a wicked movie that
I can't. I didn't get past the first 20 minutes. I fell asleep
really?
the first time I tried to. Yeah, I fell asleep the first time I tried to watch it, and
What?
I just haven't picked it up.
Oh shit, dog. You should see it. I thought it was
Well, I
good.
probably will at some point. I've just been busy.
Just stop everything that you're doing. Stop this
Okay.
podcast and watch Batman. The Batman. No, it was
No,
good. I thought it was
no.
good.
I honestly, that'd be that. I think maybe I just went into it jaded because it's like Robert Pattinson. So
See, I'd never seen Twilight. I've only seen him in The Lighthouse. I've never seen him in any other movies except for The Lighthouse and Batman. So
hmm,
that's it. Literally
that's fair.
nothing.
I saw him in something else, but I can't remember what it was now. It's not important, but it was stupid.
He's been
But
in a bunch of good like art indie movies now.
I think that's all he does because he makes all that money from the Twilight movies.
Probably. I still have never seen them. There's a guy at my work who's like read all the books. When he told me that, I was like, hmm, I don't know if I should make fun of you. I'll just let it ride. Uh,
Well, I mean, like, okay, if you're gonna make someone what about making, if you're gonna make fun about reading the teen books, right? I read all the Hunger Games books.
yeah, but that's at least like a sci-fi thing. I feel like the Twilight books are like sexy
Oh, the Twilight books
vampire.
were no, the Twilight books were basically just a long ass suicide note.
Wow. See, I didn't even know that.
It's true.
Never. I don't even know what they're about. I know there's vampires and werewolves. That's about it.
Yeah, yeah, and this girl who can't decide between them, and she's in love, and let's move on. Anyway,
Such is life. Um, yeah, I like the Blade Runner sequel actually. I like 2049. A lot of people don't, but I liked it.
I'm gonna confess something. Don't hate me because we're friends and we've been friends for a long time.
Oh shit.
I own it. Never watched it.
Really? I think we've had this
Yeah,
conversation actually.
I got it as a free promo at HalCon. They were literally just giving away copies of it,
That's crazy.
and the girl like handed it over because we were in the booth behind them, and she handed a copy. It's like, here, if you want a copy. I'm like, cool, and I just never watched it.
I like it. I like Ryan Gosling. Honestly, I like him in everything. I'm a huge Gosling fan.
Yeah, is that why? That's why you went to see that? Yeah, that's why you went to see the Barbie movie.
Yeah, I was on board for Gosling. And he totally stole the show most of the time, so cuz he's fucking hilarious. Uh have you seen First Man where he plays Neil Armstrong?
I heard he was very cold in it, and I'm just not
It's
interested.
it's super super depressing. Like it's nothing like you think it's going to be. The movie
Hmm.
starts off with just Ryan Gosling sobbing, and that basically sets the tone for the entire movie and you're like,
See,
"Wow."
I have such a good outlook on Neil and Buzz. I can't, and Michael. Everybody forgets Michael Collins.
Who? No, I'm joking.
Uh, I I knew Michael Collins' name, and I won a contest to win tickets to go to that Apollo 11 documentary. You know, the one that
Oh
they had no
yeah.
soundtrack. It was
That's a
just all the high def.
Yeah, it's
It's
great.
awesome. And I watched it, and like I knew what was going to happen. It was done in such a way. I was like, all right, we're 20 seconds from running out of fuel. I'm on the edge of the seat, and I'm like, I stopped for a second. I'm like, wait, I know they're going to make it. What the hell? Um, but they were in such a positive light. I'm like, I can't watch anything that's going to make me think otherwise of these guys. Like
No,
watching For All
it's
Mankind is different because they have a great outlook on them. But
it's nothing like negative about Neil Armstrong at all. It's just because his family worked with them to make that movie. It's the same guy who directed La La Land and Whiplash. It's like I don't want to spoil anything for you, but it's like it's apparently how he really was like when he wasn't doing astronaut stuff, and
yeah,
you understand why he put himself through all the risky stuff because he was just so disconnected at that
yeah.
point. Um,
Well, if you ever want to see an interesting perspective, perform, what's the word I'm looking for here? Not performance. An interesting look on the Apollo 11 astronauts. If you watch, I think it's like season 4 of The Crown. You know where they follow Queen Elizabeth.
yeah,
In that season, they follow Prince Philip a lot. And after the moon landing, they go to England, obviously, to meet the Queen. And he asks for like 10 minutes of their time privately. And he has all these deep, methodical questions. And they're just a bunch of guys that are just like, yeah, we knew what we had to do and we went and we did it. And we had this thing happen. And then he's like, but how was your outlook? How did you feel? And they're just like, to be honest, we were so busy, we didn't have a chance to really feel anything.
yeah, just really mechanically planned, and
Exactly. Like,
I think it's what people
and,
forget is that they're just not. They're just. I mean this in the most respect. Like they're test pilots. Like they're there to
yeah,
like
we
you
we've
know.
elevated these guys to like almost godlike status
Yeah,
because
it's
they've been
true.
to the moon, right? And like, where does it go? Like, how do you, like if we find out back in the day, we wouldn't have found out if they had something wrong. Like if they'd thrown puppies into a wood chipper, we would have never known.
It's
Now
true.
today, right?
Yeah, now today
Like
we
Bennett,
know.
Bennett being the first man on Mars. I mean, Jesus, we're gonna,
That'd be wild.
you know.
Oh, that'd be crazy,
Well,
dude.
I what was it? Um, I can't remember who it was. Some scientist. It might have been Neil deGrasse Tyson or it might have been Stephen Hawking before he died. He said at some point between 2010 and 2025, the first man on Mars is going to be born.
That would be
So
crazy to
that
be born on
that means
Mars.
that they're expecting the first none of the first yeah, the first man on Mars is born. Not the first man born on Mars, but so that means they're
Oh, I
expecting
get what
whoever
you're
to go to
saying.
Mars to be a young guy
Yeah,
or a young person.
dude. I mean, I feel like at this point, from the looks of things, the only people who are going to be going to Mars are going to be like with the Starship with SpaceX. I think that's the
I
only
think
thing
the Chinese.
capable. I think the Chinese will probably get to the moon really quickly, but like Starship is moving so fast now. Like when I was watching the fourth launch the other week, as
Yeah.
soon as they like were hitting every milestone and then they actually soft landed both of them was pretty unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. Even Elon Musk couldn't believe it. He was like, "Oh shit."
But that's not the thing. Can they do it twice or
Yeah.
three times
I think
or
they're going to
four
catch
times?
it with that tower. on the
But
fifth launch.
you know what I don't understand though? If we want to do it, why aren't we using the old technology?
Well, they're gonna use the Space Launch System with it, which is a pile of
Well,
old technology.
no, I know, but I'm not talking like you and I have talked about this on great lengths, and I think you know my feeling on getting stuff into space. I think that the best possible thing that Elon Musk could be spending his money on, other than Starship and Falcon and Falcon Heavy and all that stuff, he should build the Sea Dragon.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, if he wants to get people to Mars, you got to get the stuff into orbit first, and
they're gonna
no better way
use
than some.
they're gonna build a ton of starships though as fuel tankers out
Mhm.
in space. It's gonna be crazy. Like, I think I read a statistic yesterday that was like, I forget how many starships they need to build and launch a year, but it's like an incredible amount to get like 1 million tons of cargo to Mars in like X amount of
Yeah.
time. I think they needed to have like between 3 and 5 flights a day, and they need to have like an insane amount of tankers just in orbit to refuel and go there. But honestly, normally I would say it's crazy, but you know, wait till July when they catch this booster the size of a 747 from the sky and then just gently put it back on the launch pad. Like, it's gonna be fucking ridiculous.
Did they launch that Path? Not it, maybe it's not Pathfinder. I can't remember the name of the ship, but it was supposed to be launched from the back of a jet, and it's supposed to go to the space station. But I
Oh,
can't think of the name.
the
You know
Dream
the one I'm talking
Chaser?
about. It's Dream Chaser. That's it.
Yeah, that is not going to be dropped off of a plane now. It's going to go on a rocket.
Oh Lord, what was wrong with the plane?
I feel like Virgin Galactic has brought a lot of issues forward with that because that was their whole shtick is they drop it out of that plane and then it
Yeah, they
just like
drop it though. This one was supposed to come like off the back of a plane though. So it was basically they're supposed to go into like separate, go into a glide for like 30 seconds to let the plane on the bottom drop away, right, and then kick on their booster, like from that Superman movie that absolutely was horrible.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
The one with Kevin Spacey where he's not playing Lex Luthor, he's playing Gene Hackman playing Lex Luthor.
Fucking Kevin Spacey. He's all over the news right now.
What's he done now?
He feels
Is
so
he
sorry
back or
for
is he?
himself. Yeah, he's like back. He's trying to be back. He's like, I'm bankrupt and um but yeah, no, they changed the design so the wings fold in now, so it fits inside of
Yeah.
the fairing on a rocket. So it would just take off on like a Falcon or something and go into space,
Well,
I
I guess
guess.
whatever works, I guess.
At least the booster would be reusable and the fairing, so pretty much
Hmm.
the whole goddamn thing's reusable, which is pretty cool. The Dream
I don't
Chaser
know.
looks pretty neat, I think, the mini shuttle.
So okay, so you've seen For All Mankind and The Martian.
Yeah.
Which spaceship do you think would be best to go to Mars in? Like, would
Mm,
you rather the Hermes, the
I'd rather have the one from The Martian, I think.
really?
Yeah, I mean, they got the treadmills and shit. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but they have the spinning wheel. Like that's the thing. The space hotel had the spinning wheel.
I know. The problem is, I've done a bunch of research on this centrifuge thing, and it's like, it
Hmm.
has to be really big to make the
Hmm.
gravity work properly. I don't know when they're gonna do that. I don't know if they'll ever do it in our lifetime. It would be
Well,
cool.
it's fun. It's funny because if you there's a supplement that you can get with the Martian audio, not the audio book, but the digital book that says what happens after the fact. Like
Hmm.
Mark Watney, they all get other jobs. Some of them still work for NASA, but the Hermes they dropped it into back further into low orbit, and it becomes the new International Space Station. But they build another Hermes off of it,
Cool.
so they can take like 50 people at a time rather than six.
I almost bought that book today.
Ethan bought me my fourth copy of it the other day.
Why do you have four? Are they all different like publications?
No, people keep buying me the book. So I have one like at my mom's house. I have one here. I have one in my car, and I have one in my office at work in case it gets slow.
I had 3 copies of Ready Player One, and I actually gave one of my first one I bought the hardcover to somebody. 'Cause I was like, just read this. I don't know if he ever did because I amped it up so much.
Okay, so since you brought it up, I was hoping we could avoid it. I'm almost to the end.
Just throw it out.
I I can't. It's an audio book. I can't throw it out.
You
I'd
delete
have to
that
throw out my.
file.
I'd have to delete my phone. I'd have to throw away my phone.
Okay, well, stop the podcast. Throw away your phone. I got like 50 or 70 pages into it, and I was like, oh my god, this is the first book I'm never gonna finish. I'm never gonna finish it. And then I was like, am I crazy? So I went on Google and it's like, is Ready Player 2 like going over well with everyone? And the consensus was just like, oh my god, this guy made this YouTuber who reviews books. I'll just send this to
Yeah.
you. He gave it the most scathing, and he had like the book with all the little bookmarks for every page that he just shredded to bits. Like, it was incredible, and I love
See,
Ernest Cline. Like, he's great. So
uh, it's written exactly like Ready Player One, but I think he focused more on. It's basically the same thing, except they don't. There's no prize. Anyone who's listening to this who hasn't read the book yet, I'm spoiling it.
mhm.
He's looking for Ogg's wife. She's been dead for years, but Halliday took a scan of her head using a new ONI headset, which you've already read about,
Yeah.
and he stuck her in the Oasis somewhere and made it so they had to find her when he was ready.
Hmm.
And the only person that could find her was either Og or Halliday's heir. So, but it's all
Yeah.
references. I literally just got done listening to the chapter where they go to the John Hughes planet.
Yeah. Honestly, just feel like Ready Player One should just there. You know what? Ironically, I was reading about Ready Player Two, like the series that they're doing. Steven
They're doing a
Spielberg,
fan.
yeah, Steven Spielberg is involved with it as a producer, and he's not directing it this time around. But he said only like a month or two ago that because I'm always on the lookout for anything new with Ready Player One, and because I'm hoping that they'll do a Netflix series, like an animated one, not Netflix, anything really, where they actually just do the book. And like, the movie's cool. Like, I enjoy the movie. It's fun, I get it.
Do you,
But
but do you think the movie could have been like a series of like half-hour TV shows?
I think the movie, if they did the
Like
book, they
not that
could.
movie. If they'd taken the book and done it the right way, it could have been a series of half-hour TV shows.
I think so. I think that the guy, Ernest Cline, because he writes screenplays, and like, I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure that he could have reworked it a little bit to have like a beginning, middle, and end every chapter
Yeah.
something would happen, so it could work out like that. I think they
Well,
could.
I think it all depends on how the original source material was written. Like The Martian was written like a journal. Well,
Hmm.
you've read it.
No, I've never read The Martian.
Really?
Yeah,
Is it on your
I was
list?
gonna buy it today. I was at the
Oh.
bookstore at the mall with my Mallrat Bennett, and yeah.
Do you want a copy of it? I'll give you one of my copies.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm coming through there next weekend. I'll drop it off.
Let's have a party. Didn't he write Hail
No.
Mary?
Yes, I haven't. It's on my audio list.
Okay, because who's doing that movie?
Don't know.
Fuck,
Don't
somebody
know.
is doing it.
But I heard from someone today. Guess what movie got optioned to be a major motion picture?
Mm,
The Apollo Murders.
oh my gosh, they're gonna make
Right?
everything.
Oh man, that if you read that book, you'll understand why that makes me so happy. It's gonna be such a good movie.
I have to read a lot of books.
Hmm.
I'm doing
You have what?
old
3 months left?
classics. Yeah, no. I have like 2.5, and I haven't been
Yeah.
reading the past like 2 weeks because I got like deep back into vintage Doctor Who. It's like a sickness. I swear to God, it's sick. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I went to a trivia night the other night, and it was actually a question. And it was like name the TV show, and they showed the opening, and there was like not even 3 seconds of like wormhole, and then the song came on. It was like dun 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 dun, dun, and I'm like, oh, it's Doctor Who. Like, are you sure? I'm like, it's not Stargate, it's not Sliders, it's Doctor Who.
Fuck, Sliders is a great show. I would love to
I
rewatch
know.
that.
We should do that sometime.
I'm totally down. We should have watch parties and just talk about the episodes because Cora
Yeah.
has no idea what that is. So I'd love to just cold turkey her into
Isn't
Sliders.
isn't she a Jerry O'Connell fan too?
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, because he's on The Big Bang Theory, right? He plays his brother.
Yeah, he plays Georgie.
Yeah. She'll know exactly who that is. Yeah. Do they ever get home on Sliders?
I think they do accidentally.
Hmm. Kind of reminded me of Quantum Leap, except if you brought your friends. But um, yeah. I don't know. I was We're not even talking about Mallrats. This is hilarious. I didn't like the first couple episodes of the new Doctor Who, but the new ones I watched are way better. I'm like back on
Yeah,
board.
but David Tennant's in them too, right?
Well, David Tennant's in the movies that they did, or the
Oh, okay.
specials, and then there's the
Yeah.
series. And I didn't like the first like 2 or 3 episodes of the new series, but now I
Well, do you
really
think
like them.
I was gonna say, do you think you don't like them because of like they're so high budget now with Disney footing the bill?
I thought that at first, but the last couple ones, the ones I was talking to you about, the 73-yard episode, that was like an old Doctor Who episode, and he
Yeah.
wasn't even in the episode. It was crazy. Um, and then there was another episode where, spoilers, they like, the Doctor like actually saves everybody like he normally does, and you think it's going to be a run-of-the-mill episode, and then they're like, we can't go with you, you're black. And it's like totally full stop whole episode, and you're like, honestly, the new, I forget his name, but the guy playing the Doctor right now, his reaction, they just hang on his face, his reaction, and it's amazing. Like, I was just like, I am so into this now because they are just nailing it. And after that moment, I'm completely on board with it. It's just, it took me a little while to get warmed up, I think. Because that's just shocking. Like, it was like they really did a good job. I recommend anybody to check out the new Doctor Who.
I think I'm kind of weird though. I think I'd have to go back and watch all the old stuff first and
Do it.
then get into newer stuff. But like remember, I started at Christopher Eccleston and it was just too weird for me.
Dude, if you start back in 63, you're going to have a lot to watch. That's what I did.
What did I watch? I watched all of MASH. That's 14 seasons.
Do you hear Bennett?
Um, no, I can't. I have
Oh, I
noise
can hear
canceling
him.
headphones.
Sorry. Oh. Um, I've never
Yeah,
seen MASH.
it's a really good show. It's really comedic when it starts, but when Alan Alda's like more into it at the end, it's really melancholy
I
because
heard
it's the
that.
end of the war and yeah. But
I,
it's really good. Like they
I
won a
heard it's
lot of
good.
awards and they earned them.
I would like to watch MASH. MASH is one of those things where I recognize when people, like the people who were talking about how good it was, I really
Mhm.
respected their opinion. And I was like, I need to be older to see this so that I can actually.
I, I was a kid when I started watching it. Like my parents watched it every night because it was on constant reruns. And now that it's on it's on Disney all the time
Really?
because it's a Fox show,
What the fuck? I'll have to check it out. I didn't know
right?
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's lots of ways to watch it now.
There's a MASH movie, right?
Yes, but that was done closer to the novel. And if you watch it, it really has no story to it.
Weird.
It was written. There's like a bunch of little stories, and they're all interconnected by like the speaker that announces things.
Weird. I have the Atari game, if that counts for anything. Never
I didn't
played
know
it.
there was an Atari game.
Oh yeah, there's an Atari game for everything. I even have the Alien Atari game. It's just
How's
Pac-Man.
that?
It's Pac-Man, and like Pac-Man, the alien shows up and he's green, and it's terrible. I'm not gonna lie. Um, Most of the games for Atari are terrible, but they really force you to use your imagination. That's why I love them. That's why Sully and I always have these conversations about games, because he just flat out says new games are the best games, and I'm like, well, I disagree
I
completely.
I have the top end of video game systems. I have an Xbox 360, not 360. Ha, I'm seven back there. I have an Xbox Series X.
Wow.
Um, I know, right? I bought it.
Shit.
Why did I buy it? Because there was a new Ghostbusters game that you couldn't play on the
Oh
other one.
yeah, is this Spirits Unleashed?
Yeah,
Fair.
yeah. I'll have to bring it up sometime so you can try it out.
Yeah, okay. I'm there. I'm
Yeah.
down.
Okay. Um, but I still go out of my way to go to arcades. Like not we're not talking the Palladium. Like I will go out to Sunnyside Mall or I'll go over to Chocolate Lake or I'll even go to like Propeller Arcade downtown and spend extra. But
The Sunnyside one,
I
I was shocked at how cool. It's like your
mhm,
classic, like crack in the
yeah,
wall arcade out of the way
yep.
there.
The
Um,
only thing that's missing is a little pizza place next to it.
I know that would be cool. There's one across the street. Um, yeah, no, I know what you mean, and I don't know if it's like, I don't like saying this, but I don't know if it's like a generation gap or something. But I feel like because our generation we basically grew up while video games were becoming video games. Like
Yeah.
at home consoles. Like they went from not existing to us being born and them existing. So we kind of went up together. Like I feel like it's
That like
really
for me, we didn't have an Atari, we didn't have a Commodore. We had a Nintendo Entertainment System, and then I didn't have another video game system till the Xbox 360.
Damn.
But like I went to the arcade every week. Like $5 worth of quarters, I was good for a couple hours.
Huh, that would be so
And
nice.
I still played not the dumb games, the old games. I still played Pac-Man. I still played pinball. I played Discs of Tron till my hands hurt.
Dude, I want to get that cabinet so badly.
Right?
It looks so cool.
Right? I heard someone made it so you can buy the cabinet and they've hacked the system so you can have the full Tron game on the inside,
That's
not just
cool.
Discs of Tron.
That would be cool. You can get the one-up mini ones, but they're really expensive. It's kind of
Yeah,
fucked.
and they're not as good.
No, if I'm gonna pay that much for like a smaller
Yeah.
version, I may as well just put that chunk into buying the full-size cabinet.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I would love to get a full-size cabinet, but they're like a couple grand. It's nuts.
Well, I mean, you can get cabinets that are set up to play all those games now.
Yeah, I know. I just, I would love to have an OG Pac-Man. Just like nothing else in it except it's the original Pac-Man. I don't know why. I really like having the original hardware. Um, like the Terminator. I would love to have, like get the Terminator 2 cabinet and just beat it. Because I always was
Oh my God.
mystified by it.
Do you know how many quarters it takes to beat that game?
Probably a lot, I guess.
So many.
Have you
I
beat
took
it?
five, yeah, once.
Whoa.
Once, and it took way more than $5.
And now even at Propeller, I think it's like $1
Yeah,
instead
and
of
then
a
50
quarter.
cents. No, it's still $1 to continue.
Fuck
We
that.
should you should come to town someday and we'll go play an arcade. We'll go to an arcade.
I know. I'm stuck. I'm not stuck. I like being here with Bennett, but I will be in Halifax, starting in September. So
Yeah.
I love to go
So
back to the screenings.
tell Cora like you're gonna have a guys' night with John once in a while,
Well, I haven't done
and
anything.
Sully, and
Yeah, I
I
know.
guess
I
Sully.
I feel I feel like I probably should because when you were asking us questions the other day, it was like, "What have you done lately?" And I'm like,
Nothing.
"Nothing. I've done nothing for months, literally." Like,
I had people ask me the other day. They're like, "Why were you on Baby Chats?" I'm like, "Cause I was asking them questions that I had."
dude, that was great. Cora loved that.
Yeah.
She's like, "Well, to get John back for the next one." I'm like, he just becomes the baby chats. You just start interviewing
No,
other couples.
no, she's the Baby Chat woman. I just wanted to try something.
She's gonna be doing one. She was gonna do one tonight, but Bennett, she has to like put Bennett to sleep now because he's still awake.
Yeah.
So she's gonna do an episode with another mom for baby chats, and Sully's been working on some game show thing. Every time I talk to Sully, he's like, "I don't know what to talk about." So I don't know. I think he's doing some. He's gonna do some Jeopardy thing or some Star Wars. I have no idea. Or Disney. I'm not sure.
For this?
Yeah, he's gonna do something for Slush. He texted me. I'll text him back here shortly. But yeah, he's working on something. He's got something cooking. I don't know
Well,
what
I
it
mean,
is.
I think the only thing I had in mind now is just getting to our Halloween one.
Are you afraid of the dark?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I started watching the
Hmm.
episodes.
Oh yeah.
Dude, they're scary. There's always one part where you're like, Jesus, that's
Hmm.
pretty dark there. Oh my.
So I went, not HalCon last year, the HalCon before. They had the creator there,
Whoa.
and he came with the DVD set of all of the original shows, and he showed the one that scared him the most, and it was the one where Doctor Vink, Doctor Vink, the old guy with crazy eyes,
I think
shows up in all
so.
the episodes.
Was he
He
in the
was there.
first episode?
Yes,
And he's
with the
like,
cab.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's Doctor Vink. So he comes to a movie theater that's going out of business and says, "Show my movies and you'll make money." So he gives them like an original copy of a vampire movie. It kind of looks like, you remember Nosferatu, the
Yeah,
original like black and white.
yeah.
It's that basically. Um, and the theater starts to have weird things happen. Like the manager gets really tired. And, one night they're sitting there watching the movie, trying to figure out why it's so good, and the vampire comes off the screen, and it turns out
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, I do remember that because the effect they did was so like memorable for that when he comes out of the screen. It is scary. in the best kind of way for a kid. I'm surprised
Exactly.
that was a kid show, to be honest. Um,
Well, and that was the thing. Like, the original wasn't. It wasn't called Are You Afraid of the Dark? It was, Scary Tales,
weird.
as in fairy tales. But he even
Clever.
said it himself. He's like, I had so many things that scared me. I just put them into the show.
Which makes sense. I'd love to do that. Like even when every time I see it chapter 1, it seems like they really nailed something there for like a memory
Hmm.
of when you're a kid back in like the late 80s, early 90s. They really did a good job of capturing that and like
Are Are
scary
you talking
stuff.
the original miniseries or like the movies?
The movie, I've never seen the original miniseries yet. I want to read the
Okay,
book actually. I was telling Cora that today. Um,
you
but
and your
yeah.
books.
I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
I have the audiobooks of like I'll do both. I listen to the 2001 audiobook, but it's so
Hmm.
weird like after I've read the book
Yeah.
and then I go back and it's like some British guy being like and suddenly,
And they tell the story of going through the Stargate, and it's like that's so weird. He went to another
yeah.
planet, and
There's just man, you should read 3001. It gets pretty nuts.
I'm getting there. I gotta finish this one that I gotta finish this Ready Player 2 because I can't let it go.
I stopped reading Rendezvous with Rama too because I realized that it's weird. Arthur C. Clarke wrote the first book, and it's really fucking good. Like, I actually would like to buy that because I just had to return to the library. Um, and I read that because he wrote it in the 70s, and then the sequel is like way later, like decades later. And I was reading about
Hmm.
it on Wikipedia before I bought it because I was like, weird. Like, why is it that there's a big time gap here? And he brings on this other author named I think his name's Gentry Lee, and he's
Hmm.
like an engineer who worked on the Galileo mission where they went to Jupiter and stuff. And I was like, oh my god, that sounds crazy! Like I've got to buy the sequel, so I got it off the internet. Got the hardcover, stoked,
Hmm.
and I got 125 pages into it, and I was like, something's
Yeah,
weird here.
there was a book that I bought. I can't remember what it was now, but it got so bad, and I was like, I can't believe I spent $14 on this.
Yeah, it's disappointing because it's like you're investing time in reading that every night
It
or
was it was one of those the Da Vinci Code books.
I've never read them.
Well, I saw the movies, and maybe it was Inferno. Yeah, it was Inferno. I started reading that, and I was like, what is going on here? They're really stretching this.
Tom Hanks is like, just give it a try. But see, the problem is, I found out that it says Arthur C. Clarke wrote it with him,
Hmm.
but if you do a deep dive into it and read about what they did, the other guy wrote it, and like Arthur C. Clarke just kind of guides the story along, and you can really tell. Like, I read all the 2001, 2010, 2061, and 3001, and then I read Rendezvous with Rama, so I was getting the hang of like how he like
Yeah.
does structures of sentences and stuff. And Rendezvous Rama too, I was like, oh my god, this is. They didn't even like do anything in. Not that that's a problem. They didn't do anything in space until like 125 pages into the book. Um, but yeah, if you get the chance, you would really like Rendezvous with Rama. The guy who directed Blade Runner and like Arrival is doing it apparently. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's like where they find like a cylinder that's like 50 kilometers long and like I don't know, like 14 kilometers wide. It comes into our solar system and it's from like interstellar space, and they send this ship that's doing something else in our solar system on a different mission to like connect
Isn't
with it and
Wait,
find out what's going on with it, where it's from.
wait. I've seen this movie. That's Star Trek 4.
Is that the one where they have the whales? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and they have like the little ball coming out of like
Yeah,
the
but
yeah.
it's a big cylinder that sails into our like what the hell?
Well, this one they go into the cylinder, and that's all I'll say because it's like honestly, it's one of the best books I've read this year.
Okay,
Um,
so okay, so you like watching like space stuff, obviously.
of course.
Um, how do you feel about National Geographic movies? Like the ones where it's like half real, half documentary, half TV show.
Like I really like the old ones. I haven't seen any of the new
Okay.
ones.
So there's one that came out years ago, and I rewatch it whenever I can, called Evacuate Earth.
Hmm.
There's a neutron star heading for Earth, and they're trying to
Ooh.
find a way. Yeah. So it's like we have 75 years to get enough of our planet gone, so we're not completely lost.
Oh my god, we would be so
You
fucked.
Oh, you got to check it out, man. It's actually pretty believable.
I
So,
do like those. I
yep,
really like those theoretical, kind
yep.
of like hard sciencey things.
Well, I remember when National Geographic really put some money into it. They did one called Mars, and it was a mini series.
I've heard of that
And
actually.
the first episode was the first Falcon 9 launch, and it was a failure. But they got it on all on video with Elon Musk and everything. But the story that went on outside of the documentary was the first people that landed on Mars, and they had so many problems landing that the commander got really hurt.
Yeah, I think Mars is gonna be a shit show.
Oh, I
Honestly.
can't. If we don't lose someone on the way, we're doing something wrong.
Yeah, I think we're gonna lose a lot of people. I think that Mars is so far away that
Yeah,
ugh, anything that can go wrong is gonna go wrong. Like the moon is already hard enough, and it's right there. You know,
yeah. It's only 250,000 miles away,
it's yeah,
or
exactly.
380,000 kilometers if you're in our metric world.
Yeah, depending on the time of the month, it's like waxing and waning. The point is, it's right there. Like it's connected
Hmm.
to us basically, and Mars is like. I don't think that people can really understand like the cosmic scale of stuff. Like I still
Yeah.
don't, and I've been reading about it forever. Like
Well,
whenever I
in like in terms I see it, like okay, so in my family we have a different way of measuring things. If it's okay, if I say it's just down the road, that means it's like 4 hours away. So to me, the moon is just down the road.
oh
Okay, but if I say like, oh yeah, it's just a little bit away, that's Mars, right? Because like my father used to drive truck, and I go with him once in a while. I'd be like, Dad, I gotta use the bathroom. Oh, there's a truck stop just up the road.
oh God,
4 hours.
oh no,
So for me, like I know that it's close but far, and then Mars is like the next town over.
that's funny. That's a funny way of thinking of it. It's pretty cool
Well, I
actually.
mean, it's better. Like we're from the Maritimes, though. We're used to giving directions. Like, so you go down to where Parsons Farm used to be. You hang a left, and you go past the old orchard that's not there anymore.
Dude, it's even harder giving directions for downtown Halifax. It's like so many streets are different directions now.
I know.
It's
Well, half
bright.
half of downtown's closed now because they're doing a big redo on everything.
Yeah, I saw it on the news.
I,
Man,
I I had a friend that went to Cirque du Soleil at like 3 o'clock on Saturday, and they didn't get the traffic was so bad they didn't get out of the parkade till closer to 6.
that's
And the
terrible.
and the no, the show was over at 5. They didn't get out till almost 6. And then the other show had already started, and people were still coming in because the traffic was so bad.
I don't know, man. They like it seems like with what they're trying to do to downtown Halifax to like build up the infrastructure is it's just not working because it's not big enough. Like they're trying to make it more accessible, but it's too small. Like it's not
Hmm.
designed to be like this, I think. So they should have just widened the whole footprint of Halifax a long time ago. And
Yeah.
that's what they're doing with Tro instead of I've read about this instead of like pouring a bunch of money into downtown to like build it up. They actually spent the
Hmm.
past 20 years building the whole footprint out to like the
Yeah.
power station and everything.
So
And
that's what they call infill, where they fill in the spaces between what?
what are you saying, Cora?
I said taking him for a drive is a terrible idea.
Oh, I had an idea that we never
What's that?
tried with Bennett. It's like take him for a drive and like he'll fall asleep and then it'll be easier to put to sleep. And she said it was a bad idea.
By the time we got home, his eyes were puffy and he was like basically
Oh,
hyperventilating.
So it didn't work, but he's asleep now.
okay.
Yeah,
So
because
baby
he
chat
woke
update.
himself up from
Bennett in the car does not go to sleep.
Apparently, he sleeps for me in the car all the time. I don't know. It's a dad thing. It's that dad life. I put on some light Johnny Cash and just let him go to sleep.
Eh,
Just kidding, I don't do
whiskey.
that. Yeah,
What's wrong? What's wrong, with Johnny Cash?
nothing. Johnny Cash is great. Love Johnny Cash. What were we talking about? Cloning?
No, we were talking about Halifax.
Yeah, it's just too little, man. Oh,
Yeah,
fuck. I don't know. It's bad.
but man, do we have some great restaurants?
I know. I miss living close because even like today, I was like, I wonder if I could just go some like thrift shopping for books, and I was like, there's nowhere to go here. It doesn't exist in Toronto or Bible Hill, but in
Yeah.
Halifax, there's a whole bunch of places in Dartmouth,
Oh
and
yeah, there's places just for books.
yeah, there's bookstores there,
Yeah.
which is cool.
But I was gonna say you have Indigo, but they're not great.
Well, I've been using it's called Thrift Books. It's an app, and
Yeah.
it's really really cheap. Like you can get books for like a couple dollars, and they'll ship them right to your door. And then you can just resell them when you're done. It's awesome. Um, Now I know Irama 2 was only like $5. Fuck you, Gentry Lee. Uh,
Maybe you can get a copy of E.T. the video game.
I have it. I have 2 copies of it. It's not bad. I've played way worse games. How are we even gonna fit Mallrats into this at this point?
I don't know. We got off track.
There's no way we're gonna be able to give it the time that it needs now. It's just
No.
like
What? Okay. So let's call this 37 and we'll do 37 and a half because
what a half episode. That's an interesting idea. Oh shit.
oh man. Maybe we'll just do the rest of USQverse next time.
Yeah, we can do that. Well, I think Dogma
I
needs
I
its own episode.
I had zero notes. I didn't do any research. I just figured, we never get to sit and talk anymore.
See, this is why I started the podcast, because I knew that I
Yeah.
would be locked into home. So it was
Yeah.
my way to force all of you to come to me and hang out
Now,
on the internet.
now the question is, when you go back to work, are you still going to do it?
Yo, yeah, I'm never stopping.
Good.
Ever. Never stopping.
Good. Good. Bennett gets it as a present someday. Here's
Yeah.
your podcast.
I do want to do that. I like the idea of having all of our conversations. You'll see all of us get older as they go along. Because originally I was just going to do audio, but I was like, well, if we do video, we'll actually see us age over like a time span.
Well,
like...
I remember the original idea was I was just going to show up for the one episode. Now I'm like in like 10.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad because I wanted to have a podcast about anything,
Yeah.
and everything, because I don't want to just talk about one thing. I mean, we were
No.
supposed to talk about Mallrats, and now we're talking about Johnny Cash.
See, Kevin Smith should do a space movie. Then he'd have my attention.
That would be interesting.
Now, keep in mind, we also said Kevin Smith should do a crime movie, and he did Cop Out, and we all just kind of...
I've never seen it, but I know him and Bruce Willis were like not on good terms after that.
Oh, no, they're okay now.
Oh, really? Well, I mean, can Bruce like remember him? Like, isn't he like totally like?
No, I think no, I mean, they're good. There was a deal where, if you watch Kevin Smith's Silent but Deadly comedy special, in the after stuff they talk about it, and he calls him up and he's like, Kev, it's Bruce, and they have a heart to heart. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm sorry, I was a dick, and I'm sorry I was a dick, and they made up.
Really?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. No, he didn't say it was Bruce. He said it was Bruno because he likes to be called Bruno.
Oh my god, isn't that like his music? Remember him?
That is, yeah. I had that album for a minute, and I don't know what happened to it. Thank God.
Music video haunts me. I wish Kevin Smith would just do some more stuff. He's like James Cameron now. I'm just like, just do what you used to do. It was working so well, you know?
I don't think James Cameron. I think he's just like, he has to make the money, but then he has to spend it just as fast. Because like he's still doing a lot of that diving stuff.
I know. He's like obsessed. Did you see the new, this is completely almost unrelated, the new submarine that they're sending down with the next rich guy?
Is this one better made? Like, do they have better than a PlayStation controller?
I don't think so.
Does it look like this one? Does it look like an Xbox controller? 'Cause if it's Xbox, I'm fine.
I mean, I didn't see the controller, but the okay, you love the Abyss, right?
Love the Abyss.
So you know how they have
Remember,
big...
I went to see it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
You know how they have like the big globe that they're in with like this chair
Yeah.
in it? It's all glass. That's what it looks like. You should Google a picture of it. It's like a $20 million sub. And he's like, I'm not going to die. And to prove it, I'm going to go down in this thing. And people are like, holy shit, he's going to die. So we'll see what happens.
You know something? If that's what has to happen for a couple of millionaires to realize they need to keep their asses away from the Titanic.
It's ironic, isn't it? I think it's because people are like, oh, you need to, like, they talked about the one that James Cameron brought to the bottom of Marianas Trench, how, like, the
Okay, but that
steel
was
is,
custom
like,
built,
thick.
and he had like this much space in
Yeah,
it.
exactly. And
And
this one's, like, composite or something, like, it's not even, like, a metal.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't remember if it was the one he went to the bottom of the Marianas Trench or one of the ones he was diving on the Titanic. It might have been the Titanic one. But he was down there long enough that a world event happened, and he didn't know till he came up after dark. And it was 9/11.
Oh, shit.
James Cameron was the last person on the planet to know.
Wowzers.
It might have been the Marianas Trench one.
I mean, it makes sense. Have you seen like the pictures of it deteriorating the
Yeah,
Titanic?
they said like maybe another 20 or 30 years it's not going to be
Yeah.
it's not going to be recognizable.
There's like
But
people
fun
land on the roof with like their submersibles and shit.
yeah.
It's weird.
Funny story. Did you know that the pool on the Titanic is still full of water till this day?
It's so dark.
Yes, of course it's dark. It's 2 miles down.
Dude, oh god. Um yeah, I don't know. I fall into the Titanic trap as well. Like even I was taking all this stuff out of my childhood room the other day to bring here, and I found this massive poster of like a diagram of how deep it is into the ocean because there's just always been something interesting about that. But have you seen those 3D scans they've done of the whole shipwreck? It's so eerie.
I keep meaning to look at them and I haven't.
It's so weird. Because then you really see it like in all the light, and it's
Yeah.
not like this, you know.
I think I more like seeing the Titanic the way it is, just like
Yeah,
the
it's
high resolution
spookier.
cameras. I just everybody romanticizes it. I just thinking like it's a really cool wreck.
Yeah,
You
I one
know,
time I would have gone down to some wrecks, scuba diving or something, but now I definitely can't. I'm like,
s- so a guy I used to work for, he does that. He does that. He wreck dives.
whoa,
And his last trip, I think he was in Grand Cayman. It's off. They sunk a battleship off the coast there somewhere,
oh,
and they went out. He was down long enough. He ended up having to stay in Grand Cayman for an extra 9 days.
oh my,
Like he had to go through decompression.
ugh,
Because if he flew, he would have died.
yeah. See, that's what stops me. I don't even surf. I don't do any of that stuff now. I just don't want to
I
go out there.
never. I keep my ass on the shore, man.
I don't know how I did it before. I think I was just a lot less concerned with my safety. But now that I'm
Do you,
older, I'm like, ooh,
do you know why I don't? Because I'm not top of the food chain out there.
there's a lot more sharks here, I think, because the water's getting so warm.
Okay, so we're gonna tell a funny story. You
Oh,
remember I went
God.
to Cuba a while back?
Yes.
Okay, so we were in Cuba and we were down there with someone who had one of the shark apps on their phone. Like, look, we can see the sharks. And I'm like, great. I'm going into a lagoon where I don't usually swim in the ocean, but I swam in these lagoons because they're salt water and you can see whatever's coming at you from 6 miles away.
Yeah.
And the funny part was my buddy like bookmarked those sharks so you could see them. We got back here 2 weeks later. He called me. He's like, John, look at this. And he sent me a screenshot. Those sharks, those same sharks, were now 20 kilometers off the coast of Nova Scotia. They
Yeah.
followed us from Cayo Coco, Cuba to Halifax.
It's wild, man. I know what you're talking about. There's like great whites that they have tagged, and
Yeah.
they're it's because the sea life, it's like moving upwards. It's like the weirdest thing. It's like the climates underwater are more extreme than above land, and it's like it's moving closer up to us. So there's a lot more tropical fish, I think. I don't know for sure, but when I was doing it, that's what it seemed like. Um, but I can't do it anymore. Like I really enjoyed snorkeling and stuff out in the ocean. We swam to a couple islands, out in the ocean.
Yeah.
I went past one called Shark Island, out in Dover, like at night without any lights. I swam like a kilometer in the night.
Do you learn nothing from movies?
I
Like
know
seriously?
it wasn't my fault, but that was probably the most dangerous thing I've ever done. To be honest, I was worried a boat was gonna hit us more
Well,
than a shark.
apparently I tried to swim to Miami from where we were in Cuba, so I won't tell you how I got to that point, but I might have visited the bar beforehand.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Drunk swimming.
Drunk John doesn't appear very much anymore ever since he tried to swim to Miami.
Well, at least you tried.
I'm gonna assume I tried. I haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah,
Anyway, we're way
same.
off topic now.
Or are we? Um,
No, we are.
um, Mallrats. I'm joking.
Mallrats.
I don't even know if we can fit Mallrats into this. Mallrats. You know what?
We got a few minutes left, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we got
yeah.
time.
You know what I like the most about Mallrats? If there's one
What's that?
takeaway, Jason Lee. I love Jason Lee.
Jason Lee is a very underrated actor. I think he kind of pigeonholed himself going on to My Name is Earl.
I think so too.
He could have been a great leading man in a lot of stuff.
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah, I meant like an actual like movie.
I know. Do you remember he was in Vanilla Sky as like
Yeah.
Tom Cruise's
No,
buddy?
no. No, he was in Dreamcatcher,
Oh my god, I forgot about that movie.
right? Like you're in a movie with Thomas Jane, Morgan Freeman, Tom Sizemore, and your claim to fame in that movie is you can say fuck a lot.
Yeah. Fuck. Morgan Freeman's eyebrows are terrifying in that movie.
I know, right? It's like two gray caterpillars.
uh, yeah, Jason Lee. I don't see him in much now. I know he was a pro skateboarder before that, or during that, I guess. Mallrats. But yeah, he was
Yeah.
like the way he said the dialogue with Kevin Smith's, writing. It was just like meant to be. I always
Well,
wish they did a Mallrats sequel, but
I don't know. I mean, like, I don't understand how he got onto My Name Is Earl from all the Kevin Smith movies because he just doesn't seem like that kind of character. Like, you give him the mustache, yeah, he looks like it, but like,
I know.
I don't get it. Now, mind you, I like My Name Is Earl. I think any show with that kind of positive message is very should be watched and enjoyed.
Hmm.
But same time, like, I think Jason Lee kind of should have stuck to his guns and done something else.
Well, that's when like when I saw Chasing Amy, I was even more impressed with him because it was like a really angrier version of Brody, um, which was like just so amped, and he did it perfectly. I always forget how good he is until I'm rewatching Chasing Amy, and I'm like, man, Jason Lee is on fire in this. Like he's just so good. His deliveries. Um,
Banky Edwards, I would say, is my second favorite character in the whole View Askew-verse.
he's right here.
Exactly. Um, like, yeah, he is my second favorite character. My first one's always going to be Dante,
Dante. I don't know who my favorite
right?
character is. Damn, I never thought of that, John.
But at the same time, I love Alyssa. I think she's just no nonsense about everything.
I love when Ben Affleck's like, see, that's what I'm saying though. How big can a tongue really get? And she's like,
Right?
and he's like, my God.
Like, I was thinking about this, and like Kevin Smith, after we had the Clerks episode, I started thinking about like, Jesus Christ, Kevin Smith likes to put his girlfriends into like odd situations with his friends,
I know. It is weird, isn't
right?
it?
Because they were dating,
I
and it was like
know.
their way of like because they broke up during it, but like the ending was their way of kind of separating.
Hey, if you ever, I don't know if you've done this or not, but like, if you ever go to the View Askew website, it's archived from like the late 90s still.
Hmm.
And you can actually pull up the original Chasing Amy homepage, and it goes through like a slideshow of them making the movie and talking about that
Hmm.
stuff. Have you ever seen the alternate opening to Chasing Amy?
I'm trying to think about which one that is.
It's where like,
So there's an alternate opening to Clerks, not
yeah,
Clerks, Mallrats.
in Chasing Amy, it's like Walt Flanagan and Steve Dave from Mallrats. They have their own comic
Yeah.
book store at this point, and it opens with Banky and Holden going into their comic book store, and they're like,
Oh, and they're talking about how good their comics doing compared to really good
yeah,
comics.
yeah, and like
Yeah.
um, Banky throws a brick through the window of the comic book store.
Right, right, but it's got to check on it for
Yeah,
the
yeah,
right.
yeah.
I have seen it. Yeah.
I love that.
Um,
Oh, it's so good. That's the life I wanted. Like when I was at late teens, like mid teens, when I saw Mallrats and Chasing Amy, I was like, oh, I just want to have their lives. Like they're just like adult children. Like they're making
yeah.
comic books. Like that's a real job, and having
Yeah.
relationship issues. Like I want that.
Eh.
Yeah. Then I got older and I'm like, oh, your 20s don't last forever. I can't do this. Um,
Yeah, but then we get into our 40s and then we start talking about stuff and it's like
Yeah, honestly, now that I'll be 40 in like a week or two, and I don't really feel like I just feel like I stopped in my 20s. Like I feel the same, to be honest. But then I see pictures of
dude,
my dad when he's 40, and I'm like, oh, he's way older than me. Like this doesn't make sense. It's weird.
you know what's crazy though? Like when you think about our age compared to other people's ages at certain points, and you always have to go to Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is 50.
I know. I think he's
Now,
older than that, isn't he?
I think he's like 53 now. Paul Rudd is the same age that Wilford Brimley was back when he did Cocoon, and Wilford Brimley looked old as shit.
I know. Ewan McGregor is like pretty much the same age as Alec Guinness. We're all pretty close, I think now. It's like 5 years off, and he
I think they just
looks.
have to dye his beard now, and he's yeah, hello
Why?
there.
Why didn't he have gray hair in the Obi-Wan series? His hair got
He wasn't
fucking darker.
He wasn't stressed enough.
It didn't make sense to me. I was like, this does not make sense. That one thing took me out of it. But what were we talking about? Yeah, it's funny to think
Mallrats.
about. Yeah, like I still
Yeah.
have stuff from like when I was 4 years old behind me.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe I fucked up.
Maybe we need to have an episode where we talk about getting older.
Yeah, I'm down to do that.
Yeah.
What's Sully
You
gonna
know?
talk about?
I think that's one of those things that could be just me, you, and Cody. Because Cody, I
Yeah,
think, is around the same age as us. Oh my God, I ran
Cody's
into a guy the
not.
other day.
He's
How
10
old
years
is he?
younger than us.
Shut up.
I know.
Okay, I ran into a guy the other day. I've known him for like a year. I've never knew his age. He's in the Navy. I know he's a submariner. We've talked a bunch of times. We've, done some activities where high fives were involved. Like, yeah, buddy, right on. I thought he was in his 20s. He's 46. I'm like, what are you breathing on these submarines that keeps you that age?
Maybe
He's like,
that's
I
what
don't
it
know.
is. You never know.
No, it's not. It's not. After thinking about it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I could kind of see the gray hair, a little bit of gray hair just on his temple, and I'm like, okay.
I feel like
But like,
I don't know when I'm gonna get more gray hair, but I'm surprised that I don't have more yet. It's weird. The only thing I can
why do
tell
you?
about myself that's aging is like my skin isn't as like tight. It's like I'm like less. I'm more elasticy now. And another
Eventually, it's just
weird
gonna
thing,
hang down.
yeah, like I've noticed like stuff like that, but like and I noticed that like even though my teeth are becoming like less straight, like they're floating almost now, so they're changing position. So that's really weird. Uh,
I can't tell you anything on that, man. I was a hockey player. These teeth aren't real.
oh really?
Oh yeah, I can take them out. Like,
What?
yeah,
Cool.
no, it's really not. When I had them done like, oh, I had it done over COVID. They took out like 12 teeth in one shot.
Whoa.
Yeah, like I didn't even get cool painkillers or nothing. They just shot me full of Novocaine,
Oh my God.
and the bridge work was already done. They just had to pull the teeth, take me up to the denturist, put it in. I was done. That was it. Like the whole thing was done in less than 2 hours.
Holy shit.
Right? I was like, and the funny part is, I realized I'm like, Jesus, if you really take care of your teeth, like they were just, I never took care of them. So I just,
You can't tell though.
I was in.
Like I never would have known that if you didn't tell me.
Well,
They
I
don't.
mean, when we met, I had a broken tooth in the front, but it was like it was broken off like widthwise, not like anything noticeable.
Oh shit.
Um, and obviously, I had to get them fixed at some point, so I got them fixed. Um, but it's crazy because they always tell you we're way off topic here, but like your dental health is so important. I broke a tooth last year, right before Christmas, like a molar, and the dentist pulled it, and I had consistent migraines for like 10 years.
Ugh.
I haven't had one since.
What?
Yeah. I asked the dentist when I went back for the follow up, and she's like, "It happens sometimes. Sometimes the nerve's just pressing in the wrong spot, and when you pull a
Holy
tooth out, it just opens
shit.
up." I'm like, "Holy shit!" Okay, I'm like, "Can you pull it the one on the other side,
Yeah,
just in
like
case?" And she's
take
like,
them
"No,
all.
no."
That's
Um,
crazy, dude. That's
yeah,
good though. That's lucky.
yeah. Well, I mean, I had to get it done. So
I know my dad
way
went to the
off
dentist.
topic.
I mean, this has everything to do with Mallrats.
Yeah.
My dad went to the dentist the other day, and they were like, "You need 11 crowns, and it'll cost $15,000, and that's with his
Or he could just,
insurance."
or he could just get them pulled and
That's what I said. But he's
yeah,
like,
get it, get a denture.
I've been trying to convince him to come on the podcast, but he won't. My mom will though. We'll have her on eventually.
What now? What's your mom going to talk about? Like
I want to
how
do a
how to
baby
how to how to raise
chat.
a nerd? Oh, okay.
Well, kind
How
of,
to
yeah.
raise a geek?
It'll be like, what was it like raising me back then? As what do you notice the difference? Because you know how I don't know, like with my mom, every time she's like, "Well, we didn't do it that way," and I'm like, "Well, that was 50 years ago. Like it
Yeah,
was
well,
half
back
a
in the day,
century."
back in the day, you could also smoke in a Pizza Hut.
Exactly. So I don't say it like that to insult her, but I'm just like that
Yeah,
literally was half a century ago. So
yeah.
like literally half a century ago. So
Like I always ask my parents, like, how'd you guys keep us occupied on the way to Florida? They're like, we found cherry coke, and you just shut up the whole way.
I know
Oh, okay.
it's like when Bennett is having a hard time, we'll just stick our iPhone and put Miss Rachel on it, and I'm like, what did they do in the 80s? They just told us to shut up, or like what happened?
Basically,
Like I think that's what they did, right? I didn't even have a car seat. I found out recently, or a
dude.
crib.
I remember that same trip to Florida, the one I was telling you about, where they smoked the whole way down. We had a Ford Topaz or Tempo. I can't remember which it was. It was like a subcompact, and it had the back seat window with
Cool.
like the razor that set out like
Yeah.
over top the speakers and stuff. I was in that going down through Virginia, like just because like my sister was with us. It was the only way I could stretch out because I was like 6. And something happened, and my dad had to jump on the brakes, and I ended up in the front seat with them.
Oh my.
Right? It's like, hi, you okay? I think so.
See, but back then, it's like almost like when you're watching a movie, you're like, that was funny.
Yeah.
Now we'd be like, oh my God. Like, that's so
Okay.
dangerous.
Okay. Prime example. Okay, and this is not even a long stretch from like when we were kids. Have you watched American Pie since you became an adult?
No.
Watch it. I watched it the other day, and I've seen that part where they turn the webcam on to see what's her name changing.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking about it, I'm like, oh, that poor girl. I'm like, wait, whoa, what happened?
I know. It was like a different kind of audience era back then.
Yeah,
Like, everybody was all about that kind of shit. But now it's like, you know. And it's like, how did we not think of that back then? It wasn't on
right?
anybody's mind, like the actual
No,
correct thing to do.
well, because like you and I grew up through the well, not grew up. I mean, we experienced through the John Hughes years, and he did like a lot of sketchy stuff in those movies,
I know.
right? And now it's like, wow, I think we're looking at things all wrong now.
I know. Just think about what they'll say about, kids today in like 20 years. They'll be like, oh, they were like so concerned about everything, but they should have been more concerned about everything,
Yeah,
I don't
about
know.
the planet.
Yeah. I think that everybody's really concerned with, what's the word? Not reusability, but like,
Sustainability.
yeah, sustainability like is really hammered into everybody now pretty good, I think. And then if you don't care, it's like, and you tell people that, they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But I don't know. I don't know. How did Mallrats? What happened?
I don't know, man. We started talking about getting older and enjoying things, and we just went off topic.
uh,
Oh, what even was this episode?
it was just the episode 37 Mallrats episode.
We never even told people why we saved it till 37.
Nope, we did not.
Like, should we just leave it a mystery? I mean,
If they don't know, then they should probably watch Clerks and Mallrats and Chasing
yeah,
Amy
exactly.
and Dogma
And Dogma
and
and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and the reboot and Clerks 2, Clerks 3. And while you're at it, watch Red State. It's a great movie.
And throw in the Clerks cartoon for good measure.
And throw in the Clerks cartoon while you're at it.
There's
and maybe those 2 episodes of the Clerks TV show.
Hey, you know what? There is a Jay and Silent Bob animated movie that I've never seen.
Oh yeah. I know. I know it. I've never seen it though.
I saw the artwork and it wasn't the same as the show, and I was
We need
like,
to find.
what?
I think we need to find it.
I think we have to do an episode on it now.
I think we have our grail. Like we have to. That's our grail.
That's our grail. That's our end game.
It's our grail. We have to find it. We have to find that movie. Okay, so hold on. Let's find out what it is first.
Yeah.
And every time we talk, we'll check in and be like, "How you making out with it? Haven't found it yet."
The Jane, I know, because I thought it was like crowdfunded or something. Jay and Silent Bob.
No, I don't think Kevin Smith doesn't do that.
Really?
Animated. Okay, here it is. This Jay and Silent Bob super groovy cartoon movie.
Yeah, it got terrible reviews, but we have to see it.
Jennifer Schwallenbeck. Holy crap, they had a
2013.
lot of. John Lovitz was in it.
Who the hell is Steve Stark? I click on his name and you can't even see the other things he's directed.
Ralph Garman. Wow. Oh, and he
He's-
got Stanley.
Yeah, it's based on Bluntman and Chronic.
Oh! They got Tara Strong and Neil Gaiman in it.
This could be watchable.
Oh,
It's
dude,
probably
dude!
not, is
I found one name that made it watchable.
Sully?
Kevin Conroy.
Oh my god. That guy's nuts.
Okay. Oh, and Franco. Yeah, we gotta. Okay, cool. So for anyone listening or watching, we're now gonna check in every time we talk about if we've seen this movie yet or not.
Oof, the animation is...
I know it looks very much like the Trailer Park Boys animated show.
Oh man, I don't know. It's like... I'll check it out because I haven't seen it. But...
Oh God, Tara Strong! I saw what she is. She's playing Cock Knocker.
Oh boy. Yeah,
Okay,
we're gonna
yeah,
have to check this out
We're gonna check this out.
and report back.
All right, how you doing, buddy? You good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. You know, it's. I told you I got a new job, right?
Yes, you did.
I told you I sit in an office all day now, and I hate every second of it.
Oh, really?
I don't hate it. I just hate that I'm not Like my old job, I sat in an office for a little bit, but I did a lot of the stock and I did a lot of the buying. And now it's just like I sit all day and look at diagrams for machines and find parts and then order said parts and then have them come in.
Interesting.
No, well, yeah, it is really interesting because I don't know my boss might listen to this. So
Well, that's why I don't mind it at White's, because I can do camera and then go to Expendables, then lighting and grip, and then do some billing, and
yeah,
then go and talk to customers. Like I'm lucky that I get to do that. I
um,
don't remember how. Hopefully everything's fine when I get back. I don't know.
you'll be fine. Remember, you almost had me as a boss.
I know. I call you B-Man. You be my boss.
You,
Papa John.
hey, hey, no. Like, how you doing, Matt? Good. How you doing, Sully? Good. Great. Matt, what do you want in your coffee? Tell Sully. He'll go get it.
Oh man, Sully would be like, we'll have to get
I'm
Sully
just,
on this next episode. He'll probably be like, what's going on? Like, what have you guys been talking about?
well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, do we even know what our next episode's going to be?
It'll be the "How is Sully doing" episode. We'll be like, Sully, tell us about
I,
the early 2000s. I
they
don't
suck,
want to hear
man.
about it. Lincoln Park were at the
No, that
prime.
did Lincoln Park really have a prime? I
No.
mean, really,
No, they
really?
didn't.
You know? Oh man. I did something the other day I wasn't expecting to do. We're just gonna go with this for a second. I was itching to listen or watch something old from like when we were teenagers,
Yeah.
and I put on a video of the Family Values tour
Oh my
with
God. That was
Limp
all the
Bizkit and
rage back
Corn,
then.
and I
Yeah.
watched it, and I'm like, man, this is so cool. I'm like, then I started watching it, I'm like, why was this cool?
I know. Every time I
Why
go
did I like these
back,
guys?
that whole era, like that several years around that time, things were just not cool, but we thought that they were so cool. But
Like,
no.
I will never admit this ever again. I was a Kid Rock fan.
Kid Rock was huge.
He was huge, and then
Huge.
after thinking about it, I'm like, why was he big? The music wasn't that great.
I don't know. I guess it was just his
Like,
style and like his perception of.
because he had hookers and stuff hanging around.
He
Like,
did
I
have
don't know.
hookers. Did you ever hear the story of
Yeah.
him and the guy from Creed? They had the hookers.
Yes. Yeah. They had to buy the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that story.
I mean, that happened.
That did happen.
Isn't Kid Rock
He.
like a huge Trump supporter now or something?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
They're he likes to play up that he's a huge redneck. Like he went and played like the National Rodeo last month, and he showed up wearing one cowboy boot that was bright orange with a 01 on it, the General Lee. But he came in the back of a Tesla Cybertruck that was done up like the General Lee.
Ugh, wow.
I was like,
That's.
"Who are you kidding? You are from the suburbs of Detroit, and your dad was rich."
Hmm. He, I always hear his version of Sweet Home Alabama and it pisses me off. I'm like, just play the original, you know?
Oh, you mean that one he did where he mixed it with Werewolves of London? Yeah,
I just,
it
like,
had a moment.
play the original, god damn it. Um, yeah. Kid Rock. Yeah, the early
Yeah,
2000s just sucked. I
yeah.
remember as soon as The Matrix came out in 1999, every year that went past that, I was like, there really hasn't been anything like good since that
Mm-mm,
Matrix movie that came out. Like nothing
mm-mm.
amazing. Uh, a good chunk of time went by where nothing really solid good happened there
Yeah.
in entertainment. Ugh.
Well, I mean, we got all the raunchy teenager movies, and then we got new metal and whatever Kid Rock was, and we had Creed for a hot minute.
Yeah, remember when emo stuff became like all the rage?
Oh, what were those names? The guys that played Fallen Leaves. Can't remember their names.
Oh my god, Billy Talent? No,
Yes, that was it. Billy Talent.
there's Billy Talent. I don't know. I think I've said this once on the podcast before, but there was one point in like 2004 or 5 where I remember I was at the park here and I met up with a whole bunch of other like 19 and 18-year-olds like fresh out of high school, and we just showed up to watch this guy sing this emo song, and this other person was playing guitar, and we were all like in the woods. I remember looking around and there was like 30 people, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, this is nothing. This is not me. Like, I don't want anything to do with this. Like, this is just not for me at all. And I remember I never looked back on it again because it was just too much. Like, it was too. The trend was too hard. Like, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I never really gone back into that again. Ugh.
I when I went into high school, I was a culture shock kid. I was cowboy boots and jeans and a half decent shirt, and I had a minute where I wore like baggy combat pants and the same like flannel vest all the time. Like I had the late grunge phase,
It's
right? And just I don't know what I was thinking.
okay. It was high school. I didn't like
I know.
junior high. I didn't mind high
Eh.
school, but I wonder what it's gonna be like for Bennett. Like which one's gonna suck the most, junior high or high school?
Oh, I don't know, but have we gotten Bennett the bulletproof backpack yet?
God, no, I'll be looking into it. Seems like there's like school horrible things happening in Nova Scotia. They said it's up like 50%.
Yeah, the violence. I know it's
Yeah.
crazy.
What the
Like
fuck?
I remember getting in a couple of fights when I was in high school, and they were like, some of them were warranted, some of them weren't. Some of them were just people, oh, she's my girlfriend. Well, she's talking to me, and then someone would end up on the floor.
Oh my.
Um, I'm not saying that happened or not, but if he's out there and he's listening, you still lost. Uh,
Oh, that's
um,
awesome.
I didn't end up with her either. That was the sad part,
It's always the sad part.
right? I don't go to my high school reunions, so what do I know? Um,
We'll have to go
what
and do a
if if
podcast.
if we when we get off of here, I'll tell you the story of how I spent my 10-year high school reunion.
Oh shit, okay.
I can't tell it in the podcast.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Oh yeah. So
Um,
what do you think, buddy? Have we absolutely killed Mallrats?
I think we did. I think we really nailed it this
Okay.
episode. It'll be funny if anybody clicks on it because there's gonna be nothing. I'm just gonna call it episode 37 Mallrats and see what happens.
Mallrats question mark.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. But yeah, okay.
All right.
Well,
Do you want to do it or do you want me to?
I've never done
All
it,
right.
so you know.
Well, why don't you do it? Give it a shot.
Oh, is this my time to shine?
Yeah, do it. Come on. Do it.
Okay, well,
Do it.
this has been a Slush podcast episode. Uh, don't forget to like or subscribe or do both. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. That's all I got. Sully usually would scream right now, but I don't want to wake
Yeah, we
Bennett
don't
up.
we don't scream.
Yeah, I'll just do one of these. And then I'll cut there.